Yo, what up, people? It's your boy YCEE. Ain't nobody but a Don, and I'm here on Media Spotlight UK. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked.
This is Billz for Media Spotlight UK, and I'm here with another special guest in the building. We got YCEE. What up, brother? What you saying, man?
Great.
Now, you said that you've been here for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Starboy Fest that we've seen you at with Maleek Berry on stage.
Yo.
It looked amazing. Like, how was the night for you?
So, I mean, basically, I came. One of the main reason why I was even out here, one of my boys, Nelson, was getting married. And,
congratulations to your friend.
Congrats to Nelson. And, I mean, Saturday morning, I just got into London, rushed to Westfield, need to pick up a pair of pants and a pair of shoes for the wedding. And, I'm ready. And then the next thing is, we're at the wedding and my guy Maleek's performing. And I'm like, oh, okay, might as well just go on stage, surprise appearance and all. So I left the wedding, drove down to the O2. We get there, it's like proper packed outside. Everyone's there, artists.
Yeah, because I seen the stories like you were outside like the O2 arena, like the concierge bit, and like you were just seeing like were you meeting with your fans or just being around or whatever?
I literally just came in and I'm seeing Bankuli, I'm seeing Shopsy, I'm seeing all these industry, people.
Yeah.
And eventually make it backstage. Like that was actually my first time at the O2,
really?
The O2 arena. Yeah,
really?
Because last year I couldn't make it for what is it? I think it had another name.
Where was this at? Do you know?
Afro Republic.
Afro Republic. Yes, I was meant to be there last year.
I was in Canada, so I couldn't make it. But I got in there, like going through backstage. Catching up with all my people.
Yeah.
Malik's about to go on stage. So the funny thing about that day was my outfit because I'm coming from a wedding.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
how you get from a suit to like your
20,000
stage
people.
outfit in a short amount of time.
So initially I was like, man, I think I want to change. So I was trying to see if I could get a stylist and whatnot. And I was just like, man, let's just do it. Like, I'm just gonna go on stage. It's not like it's a full set; it's a surprise set.
Yeah.
So we'll just make it work.
Okay.
And the funniest thing is that was one of the things that stood out by my performance because even when I showed my mom the video, she was like, yeah, this is how I want you to look, very mature and like a gentleman.
You know how mums always are. They always want to be like, oh, I don't want you dressing like this. I want you to have some class.
And I was like, if you knew the backstory, it wasn't planned. So, I mean,
hey, it worked for you though.
It worked.
It worked.
And getting on that stage, I think one thing for me when I'm performing, aside the fact that in my head I want to put on a good show, I want to keep my energy levels on the right level.
On fleek, yeah.
Like most times I'm just watching not to fall off stage. So far so good. I haven't fallen off any stages. So I really wasn't seeing what was going on with the crowd. I was just seeing most of say the first few rows. So when I go off stage and I was watching the videos, and I was like, wait, whoa, like look at all these lights.
Yeah, the lights are great. The phone lights and everything. So it must be crazy.
It was amazing. But then I had to now rush back to the wedding, and that's why I saw at I think we were partying at the wedding till about like 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was.
So you don't stop, mate. Like you had to go on stage, you come back to the wedding, and like what I mean, crazy for you.
Really good.
You had your headline show last year though.
Yeah.
But were you supposed to be at the O2 last year? Because apparently, you had your headline show at the O2.
Yeah, no, at the O2 Islington.
Oh, it's at Islington. Okay, because
Yeah.
when I read it, I thought it was like the O2, the main O2. But you were saying that you've never been to the O2, so
in due time.
Okay,
In due
it's
time.
coming. It's coming because you've already had a taste of the O2,
And,
the main stage. You're already there, bro. You want more of it. Trust me. So, how did it feel like flipping the script in terms of like Wizkid supported you at your headline show? How does it feel that the tables have turned a little bit, like you be able to support your brother on stage?
Like, first of all, big shout out to Wiz because on the day of my show, he literally just got into London that night, so he came straight from the airport.
Wow.
And I didn't know he was coming, so I didn't even call in the favor. Like it was all entirely off of his own accord. So he's landed in London. He's heard YC's having a show. He's pulled up. Initially I thought it was just a scenario of where he just came to just, congrats, show support, chill backstage. And by the end of the night, when I was about to perform Juice, the DJ had already started playing the song, then the DJ cut it off. And I was like,
and you was like, what? What's going on?
What's going?
What is my show? Is my show finished now? Like, I'm supposed to go home?
And the funny thing was, like, we'd already, like, I think we were like a few minutes over the time. So I was just like, no, you guys are not gonna cut me off right now.
Yeah.
And then they played a Wizkid song, and then Wizkid comes on stage to perform, and I was
like, whoa. Okay, let's do this.
So it's like Wiz is one of the top artists out of Africa. You know, on a global level, he's a big deal. So
so are you. You're a big deal as well.
Yeah, but like in my head, I'm like, you know, how am I gonna pay Wizkid back? Like, what do you give a man that has everything? You know, those kind of scenarios. So I mean, when I was there that night, I was just like, man, I'm gonna just do it. You know,
let's do it, man.
So I just got there, showed up. I was able to get backstage before my performance, see him, you know, shout him out real quick. And when I go on that stage, I put my all. Well, I didn't put my all. I won't say I didn't put my all, but you know, I killed it because.
But your energies are there.
Yeah, because a lot of people.
The YCEE energy.
Yeah, it's a good thing you say that because a lot of people like see my videos on stage and they're, you know, I don't know if people expect me to do backflips on stage or whatever because they're always like, you know, you need.
Can you do backflips?
Not anymore. I used to as a kid, but you know,
I can't do it either. Like I'm too big. My love handles are too much there. You know, the ones there, keeping it real.
So you know, I'm like whenever I'm on stage, I do it my own way. You know? I'm not gonna like different people have different energies. I'm not about to come on stage and start making a mockery of myself. You know?
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Get in the swag and it.
Yeah, exactly. So you had your listening party the other day.
Yes.
And first thing I'm gonna say is, where was my invite? Because I've seen a lot of my, I've seen a lot of my networks there. I seen a lot of my friends there, and I had no call of that, but. All of that aside, it's all good. You had all of your friends come down, like Miss Banks, Davido, UG, Maleek Berry, Malogo. So many of your supporters come down to support you. It looked crazy from the stories I've seen. How do you take away from the night? Because obviously, like, people are listening to your album for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it was a really, really big. I think the listening for me was even bigger than the O2 because there was a lot of factors that I was taking into consideration. First of them being, I hadn't publicly played this album for anyone. You know, it was just my A&R team, you know, my management, and it was mostly in-house, like people that already, you know, dig my sound and dig my music. So it's a different case when you're not playing it for a neutral audience to like, okay, we want to hear what this album sounds like. So even at the beginning of the night, I had like an anxiety attack.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, you know, because the last year or so, you know, I just come out from, you know, terminating my contract with my previous label.
Yeah.
You know, I'm standing
That's
on
what we've
my
been hearing,
own now. Yeah, a lot of people are asking, what's YCEE doing? How's YCEE gonna bounce back? You know, like all these, so many situations, like, and I believe I've done a good job, you know, blocking out all the distractions and all the question marks and everything.
Yeah.
So leading up to that moment, this is the first time I'm about to play this album publicly for, you know, the fans. I'm about to get the first reactions. I don't question my talent. I don't question my sound, but, you know.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yeah, but it was just, like, I don't know what it was. I think seeing a lot of people show up, it got to, like, all my emotions were just overwhelming.
Okay.
And I was trying so hard to hold it in. I was holding it in. And then at some point, I was like, can I get 5 minutes outside?
Wow.
And before I could even make it outside, I just started. You know? So they took me into the bathroom.
Real stuff, man. Yeah.
Yo, it took me into the bathroom. You know, I calmed down.
Yeah.
You know, drank some water, and I also hadn't eaten. Like I'd done all what I did on Saturday. I didn't eat.
Okay.
And you know, the next day I was just ready for the listening. I still forgot to eat, and then they were like, "Nah, you have to eat. Like these are all the things."
Yeah, no, it's fundamental, man.
Yeah, but I think by the end of the night, I'm even happy. I feel like I won't say happy, but you know, I'm sort of like glad that happened, you know, for people to see, because I think a lot of people fail to understand that, you know, we artists and we celebrities and superstars, at the end of the day, still the same flesh and blood. We still feel the same emotions. We still have, you know, the same mental health issues as everybody else. But, you know, I was lucky enough to have all these people turn up, you know, support. And bro, by the end of the night, I think I felt even better because what I was expecting people to take from the night exceeded
your expectation. Yeah, so. It's crazy. One of your friends, or you know, one of the people that turned up, Miss Banks. I've seen her journey from the very beginning, 2014, when she had her first mixtape out, and when I saw that Miss Banks was on the album, I was like, yes, like female empowerment. We need, we need more of this. Do you understand? So how did that link up come to life? Because obviously, like, you're both talented artists, like, both from stemming from Africa. Like, how did that link come up?
I think that session when we made that song, so it was actually supposed to be a session where I was going into the session, I don't know who did the link up, but bottom line was, there's this artist that wants to feature you, so you have to go into the session. And I think before I'd even gone there, I was already familiar with Fanatics, with the sound.
Yes.
Like, I'd known like a bit of what they produced for, Pagey Cake, Stylo G,
nice,
and all that. So I was already like, okay, I'm going into a session with Fanatics. And I think the first Miss Banks song I ever heard the first Miss Banks verse was on, what's this guy's name? My Style.
Oh, Big Tobes.
Yeah. So I was already keen on the session, like, I'm down. So by the time we get there, what was supposed to be a Miss Banks featuring YCEE turned out to be a YCEE featuring Miss Banks record, and like she's amazing. Like, I have maximum respect for, her craft, and her work ethic is unbelievable. Because, different artists have different ways that they work and, the way they create. Like, for me, if I'm in the studio, first things first, I always try to freestyle, get my flow down before I start working on the lyrics. Some people just sit there and just write, and then they have everything, But she was just sitting there, and I think like 15, 20, 30 minutes, she was done with her verse. She'd gone in there, she laid it. It was crazy. And I was like, nah, I have to match this energy. So yeah,
because
big shout out.
So the fact that she had her bars set and lit nice, and you were thinking like, I gotta step it up. This is mad. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So with your first ever project that you did back in 2017, like the first wave.
Yeah.
That's like your first substantial, like, you've done music before.
Yeah.
You had like Kondo and Jagaban beforehand in 2015, but 2017 was like your, say, breakout year, so to say, I believe, with the first project. 2 years after, we're now coming into YCEE versus Zaheer.
Yeah.
So why with the gap? Like, what was the gap between then and now that you decided that you want to bring out the album?
So I think in 2017, the first wave, I felt like my album, like, I wasn't ready for an album, but at the same time, I just felt like I'd gotten the fan base, I'd gotten the numbers to be able to put out a body of work, and I really just wanted to, give fans something, because it's a different case when you're putting out single and you put out another single, and it's sort of like the fans just want, and I'm a big believer in bodies of work, because that's the best way to showcase your craft, showcase your, product. So when we did the first wave, it was just like, okay, the album's not ready, but you guys can hold on to this for now. And then the following year, I worked on another project with Bella Lubo.
Yes.
Who we were all signed to the same label at the time, Late Night Vibrations, which is, I would personally, like, before this album drops, I think that is like my best work so far, because like the entirety of that project is, sometimes I listen to it and I just feel really glad, like, I'm the one that did this, so and that came out. So initially the album was already slated for last year, but label issues came up. I had to sort that out, get out the contract. And coming into 2019, I was like, fans are like, yo, okay, what's YC doing? Where's the music? You haven't put out music in like over 6 months. Like, what's going on? Are you still making music? There was some, like, bro, every day, sometimes I couldn't even post a picture on Instagram, because
really, it was that much of a hideout.
In the comments, you see people just asking, where's YC? Where's music? What's going on?
It's like he's gonna disappear. They're like, no, he's gone.
So I came back 2019, I put out 2 singles, and then I was just like, man, I'm not even trying to start doing the whole put out another single, try and build the buzz
just
back.
Build the body of work.
I was just like, let
it be done.
I'm working on this album. This is when it's gonna be out, so let's go.
Okay.
And,
so one of the lines that I heard from Dakun, which is, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I was blown away. I was like, yo, this is some good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's like the trumpets, like the sound that came to it.
Da,
That was the
da.
unique feature for me, but I was still bumping. I was like, yo, this is mad. I got it on my phone right now, and I think like I've been bumping it all the way down here. So that's how you know it's a big thing. You had a line in there saying, anywhere you are cook me, I want to eat, but I know go chop the booty like groceries. So are you meaning to tell me you don't go down there? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't swing that way.
Do you know what? A lot of my African friends, they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when I asked them before, I was like, do you do that? So like, no. They say it so that, no.
Well, the funny, what I always say, is like, I eat anything but ass.
Well, personally, you're missing out, bro.
I don't. It's fine. I'm okay with missing out because it doesn't
resonate.
Well. Yeah, it's like in the human anatomy, that area of your body, I just feel like it's a bit too.
Okay, it's a bit too much.
It's a lot,
Well,
so.
each tone.
Yeah.
And Davido just had a baby the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big shout out to David because I think his son arrived Sunday morning. Sunday night, he's left the hospital to show up at my listening.
Yeah.
And I was just
mad. Again, your friends are sick.
And that's the overwhelming thing for me because I try in as much as the industry, like, how everybody says the industry is fake and all that. And,
yeah.
I personally don't have any issues with the industry being fake because at the end of the day, it's just business. Nobody owes you anything. So
no, of course.
I just try to be as real as possible because I feel like if I'm being real with you, I'm doing more for myself.
100%.
So like when people
and you're keeping your dignity in the process.
Yeah, exactly. So like I have it at the back of my mind that industry is fake, but that doesn't mean I have to be fake. So I think seeing people turn up for me, so some people are like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be there, just save me a spot and all that. And I was like, cause the crazy thing about events for me is like I always like no matter how much I remember to invite, there's always some people that it just skips your mind for some funny reason. And even the next day, some people are like, oh, you didn't invite me. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't even know you were in London at this time.
Okay.
So I mean, for like David, Maleek showing up, UG showing up.
Yeah,
like,
UG.
It's a big deal. And even Miss Banks came with her mom. Like I got to meet her mom.
Yeah, I saw like a tweet that her mama put up. And when I saw that, I thought like, is that her mom?
Yeah.
Is that?
Bro.
I'm like, no. I thought that was her sister.
Bro, I thought
she looked like identical almost. Like,
how artists always have like this posse, where you just like, I thought it was like one of her girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
and then when she introduced me, she was like, oh, this is my mom. And I was like,
oh, okay. Good to meet you, Miss
and
Mother Banks.
Mama Banks. That's what I'm gonna be calling her, Mama Banks.
Mama Banks.
Her energy is like, she's very supportive. Now I understand how Miss Banks has that work ethic. Her mom is very, very, very supportive.
Okay. Well, the power of Afrobeats has been going crazy like for the past decade. It brings a lot more unity together amongst not only the African nation, but just nations in general. Why do you think, in your view, that it has gained so much worldwide acclaim, so much popularity? I mean, with you guys gaining millions of, followers on social media, worldwide, like sort of shows and everything else. Why do you think it's been so much of worldwide acclaim in the past decade?
I think it's the most important thing about it is the feel of the music, because first of all, you have to understand that like this is African music, where it's a case where most of African artists are singing in like their traditional dialects or traditional languages or traditional slangs. And also, first of all, it's not even about the lyrical content most of the time. It's just about what the music makes you feel. And because this is something that's been a part of our culture for a long time, it comes naturally. So I think it's the feel of the music, it's the sincerity of the vibe, that before you even understand whatever this person is saying, you're already going yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's something that has people have been hearing it, but I think with the innovation of like all these tools like streaming services and all that, there's more tools at the hand of the African artists to push that music to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world has caught on, like in the sense of you have like people like Drake doing the song like One Dance, which pretty much sounds like an Afrobeat record. You have there have been so many different songs. Even Janet Jackson had an Afrobeat type of sounding song. So I think with that happening, the rest of the world has now begun to look into Africa to see, okay, what else do you guys have? Like what other sounds are there? And I feel like it's a very, very important moment in African music history, because this is like a very important phase. And like I say all the time, I feel like now more than ever, all African artists need to, set aside whatever differences and just try and collaborate as much as possible. So,
let's do that.
When people are looking at how this whole thing's out, because it would be crazy if people are like, oh, well, this sound was introduced to us by Drake or by Rihanna or by Beyonce. But, I feel like the presence of international superstars like Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, myself, Maleek Berry, UG, all these people. So it's like our presence is very important, because it's like we're like there to just let people know like this is where it's from. It's not something that was coined in some studio or wherever. Like, no, this is from the motherland. This is African music. And seeing the acceptance it's getting is very, very inspirational, because then the younger artists back home that haven't gone to that level yet know that there is hope. And
so I mean, with the album you just released, 2020 is around the corner. Everyone's been saying about the 2020 vision, and it seems like everyone's been saying to me recently that it's like a very important year. Like, it seems to be the year that's going to happen and break out. But you've been doing this for a long while, so every year is your year. But what if you could predict the future of what we're looking towards next for you? How would you see it? I mean, the album now, what's next for you?
Well, I think for me, one of the very important lessons I was able to learn with like taking a break from music, and not releasing music, was that a lot of people just sort of felt like YC is only good for like singing and rapping. Like, if I'm not releasing music, then there's nothing else to expect. So it's just one thing that I've always had at the back of my mind, like from becoming an independent artist and trying to do my own thing. I just felt like I need to broaden, like my well, I say sources of income, or like my area of expertise. So I'm gonna be like, that's one of the most important things for me when it was like putting out an album where okay, it's like 15 songs. So I've just put out 15 songs. So you music fans are gonna cut me some slack while I try to venture into fashion. I'm really, really big on.
I mean, are you doing your own merchandise? Are you looking into that?
I'm gonna start off with like album merch first of all. But, and that's the thing for me, because the designs I want to come up with, I don't want it to just be like, oh, it's just the album cover, the album name. So
you want more creative control over it, what it looks like, what it looks.
So even after the album has run its course, if you got the merch, you're still gonna be wearing it regardless of whatever. Yeah,
so it's universal. It's always like gonna be a thing you'll wear, not just for a moment in time.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I'm with you. I understand that.
I'm also looking into filmmaking as well.
Okay. See, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, basically, because I mean, me taking time off and seeing people just asking, is YC not singing again? And I just realized if I had something else I was doing when I couldn't release music, it would have. So like I'm just like, there's so many projects I have in the pipeline, and one of the most important things I'm gonna be working on is like artist empowerment and education, because a lot of young artists are getting themselves into record deals and record situations that are not really favoring them, and then years later down the line, when they finally get the education they should have had in the beginning, it's now a sticky situation of trying to get out of whatever contract you're in, or whatever, if maybe your employer is not really, doing their obligations and what they should. So like, I think after my album, the next thing I'm going to be doing is like, workshops and seminars for like, emerging artists, unsigned artists, just pretty much educating them like, this is what you need to understand about the music business, because the record label system back in Nigeria is still in like the very, very old, it's still like being run
the old school mentality. Would you say?
Like most of that, there's only a few proper labels that have understood that the game has changed. And I feel like newer artists that come out knowing that they have tools like the internet, social media, independent streaming services at their disposal, understand what they can make for themselves. And then there's some artists that don't have this knowledge that just feel, they just need to sign a record, contract with someone that's going to put some money down, shoot videos for them, invest in them, and then going to come around and start acting like they own them. But I think the first most important thing all artists need to understand is that if you're going into a record agreement with somebody, regardless of the fact that they're putting they're investing their money and whatever, you're also investing your own content. So it should be treated more like a business deal 2 ways, not like I'm helping you out, so I own you. So just basic educational stuff like that. So people
quite wise for your years.
Yeah,
quite wise for your years, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick thing before we wrap up. I'm a bit of a Twitter stalker.
Oh boy.
So
I live on Twitter.
you do, because that's why I got some juice. I was like, okay, see that. So just a few tweets I just want elaboration on, and just kind of got some ideas of what you mean by it. So the first one, you were replying to a fan that says something about making shoes for the man them to eat the box, so to say, and then you returned and said, don't know about the men, but I know I make music for girls that get their pussy ate. Right. Can you elaborate on that?
The funny thing about these tweets is like when I tweet them in the moment, it's all, but then when someone in this situation,
you
when
just
you're
like
reading
go back
it,
and forth. Should I say that?
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a female fan actually tweeted at me, saying she feels like YCEE makes music for men that eat pussy, and I'm always like, because my male fan base, they always, I don't know, it's like we're always going back and forth, because a lot of these guys feel like I'm the one that's gonna steal their girlfriends and all that stuff. So
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
But I actually
all over again.
And I actually have never stolen anybody's girlfriend to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
So
but
I was just like, I don't know about the men, because I know a lot of men are not open about eating pussy and all that. But I was just like, I just feel like my music resonates better with girls that actually get their pussy eaten properly.
All right. At least I've learned that, so I'll probably take that on board.
So any girl that loves YCEE music, she's getting some.
She's getting it right.
She's
getting it right. You said when you want.
Wait, how many tweets are there?
Just a few. I'm not gonna go through the whole, because I'll be here all day. Another one is when you want to engage in football banter, then you remember you support Man United.
Oh boy.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'm a Man United supporter as well.
So you understand what that tweet was?
Yeah, I do understand. And the thing is, you blocked. Did you block Man U?
Yeah,
You blocked their tweet. Why? Was it that emotional?
Bro, it's because it's like,
I mean, we'll come back, but
yeah, I know, but eventually, like when they start doing it, because it's like after every game, you see that, and that's the thing. Like they don't post videos of training; they only post pictures of training.
Like the final result.
So like I'm like, no, like the training, like when they post that, you'll just see pictures like, Rashford in training and he's posing, and I'm like, are these guys actually even training?
Yeah. It's like, why are we losing all of a sudden?
Yo, like, because
the result was just mad.
It's crazy. And you're seeing these numbers, they say Man United is paying 300 million in, salaries and all that. And I'm like, it's not reflecting
on
and I was just
the
like,
result, yeah.
Anytime I can, I watch the games, but I'm not going to sit on my timeline and, just see you guys posting these, tough game, but we know we're gonna bounce back. Tough game, like we lost to Newcastle.
Maybe I should.
And the funny, with that match, when I was telling my guys, like, look, if Man United doesn't win this game, it's gonna be a problem.
And that's probably where the block come from.
I was just like, and even with the Liverpool game, Liverpool is like,
I know, I saw that. I was like,
so I was just like, I saw 1-0. I was like, okay.
Okay, some faith left.
Yeah.
Okay, final one. I'll say. There's 2 parts to it. So, part 1, you said, dude on flight staring at me for minutes straight, then finally whispers, "You're Mr Eazi, right?" I responded, yes. And then part 2, we just landed and my man just took a selfie with Mr Eazi and he's going to show his kids because they are big fans. How I don't see the resemblance.
Yo, I have
I don't see the resemblance.
I have a video on my phone. Like some days later, I have a video on my phone where I pulled up to some hotel. I pulled up to a cool hotel, And I just got out the car, and then there's this dude that's just standing there, and he just goes, Mr. Eazi. Oh. And I was like, wait, and I'm as he's saying that, I'm just pulling my phone out, and I'm like, wait, what did you say? And he says it again. He goes, Mr. Eazi, easy to be with you. And I just laugh because I don't see the resemblance. Like
I don't see it either.
I've gotten run town. I think before my dreads were this long, I used to get a lot of Pato ranking. I used to get a lot of Pato ranking back in the day because I see the resemblance with Pato. But the Mr. Eazi one, I'm just like, nah, he ain't as good looking. There's
gonna see me some beats.
But that flight one was so funny because even the flight attendants on the flight, they were thinking like, oh, you're Mr. Eazi, right? And I was just taking the piss, and I was like, yeah, because I didn't want to start explaining like, no, okay, then,
have some fun with it,
I was just so. By the time the flight landed, another one of the flight attendants is coming. The guy that was sitting next to me was like, this is Mr. Eazi, right? And the other one was like, yes, that's Mr. Eazi. So that's what gave him the confidence to take the picture. While all of this was going on, so we're about to get off the plane. And then there's another guy that was watching the whole thing going on, and he's like, all of you don't know this man. They're calling him Mr. Eazi. And I was like, oh, I'm busted.
Did Mr. Eazi see this?
Yeah, he did.
How did he take it?
And he was like, well, a lot of people have mistaken him for YCEE as well.
Okay, so balance.
Yeah, balance. So when the third guy comes and he's like, you people don't know this man and you're calling him Mr. Eazi. And then the other flight attendant was like, but he didn't tell us who he was. And the guy's like, he's a superstar too. How will it? And then when I told him YC, and the guy starts saying, oh, too much juice, too much sauce. It was so funny. I won't lie, but the dude that took the picture,
shout out to the person that mistaken him for Mr. Eazi, because now you just given them both balance of like more celebrity status. You don't understand me? So, man. YC, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro. I could have all day long with you, but obviously I know you got some more famous shit to do, so I'm not going to hold you up. Could you tell our audience where they can catch you on all the socials? Tell them right here, my man.
Yo, Twitter and Instagram, _YC. Facebook.com/I am YC. What else is there?
What's it like?
YouTube, YC Vivo, Snapchat. And the Snapchat's private.
I don't even use Snapchat anymore. I know them ones there.
On WhatsApp, you could go +44, none of your business.
I like that. I should do that as my thing. WhatsApp, +44, none of your business.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
All right, cool, man. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
And my album is available for pre-order.
YCEE versus Zaheer.
It goes live on November 8th. If you pre-order it right now, every week you get a new song before the album drops.
Exclusive.
Go get it. Go get it.
Go get it, man. You know what I'm saying? This is J Billz for Media Spotlight UK with YCEE up in the building. Album coming out soon. Make sure you go check that. YCEE versus Zaheer. And let's just hope that he's got more faith in Man United. And I'm out.
Hopefully, Ole needs to get off the wheel and just sit in the back and let someone else drive.
And we out of here. Peace.